Well, hello everybody out there in Atlanta, this is Chris from HHN.com with another exciting episode of Topher's Vlog. Sorry I cannot do a full fancy schmancy version of the vlog today. I do have to work, but I do have a little bit of time, so I did want to get on camera really quick and give my thoughts about the two announced houses that were done this morning. Of course, both houses are shared properties. Both Hollywood and Orlando will be getting these, and they're very similar in nature. Things that we have seen before in both cases. So let's talk a little bit about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre first. That one is coming. It is based on the first film, but I think they're going to add some new twists and things, you know, on the house itself. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think I'm one of the few people who actually really liked the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 2016. It was one of my favorites for that year. I thought they really captured the vibe of Texas Chainsaw Massacre very well in that house. You know, of course, when you're doing Halloween Horror Nights, if you do the houses, you know, early in the run, you know, when it's still light outside, whenever you go in and out of the light, you know, your eyes are just, you know, totally screwed. You can't see anything. So that just kind of made it, like, especially if you did that house, like in the very beginning of the night, going through there, you couldn't see anything. It was glorious. But I'm really interested to see what they do with this version. Of course, one of the rumors is that it'll be in a soundstage. I do not believe that they confirmed the location for the house yet, but that is one of the rumors. You know, so it'll get a little bit of an upgrade from what it was in the Sprung tent, and, you know, get a little bit more room to breathe, and, you know, a little bit more room to build sets and lighting and stuff like that. So kind of interested to see what they do with that. So yeah, I am interested. You know, I am excited about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre coming back. You know, because I like the first house and the original. I should say, obviously Texas Chainsaw Massacre has been at the event before, but this was the first time that we saw the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre in house form at the event. I love the original film. I don't really watch or talk about the remakes or sequels or whatever, but you know, I really the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre is my favorite, or one of my favorite horror films. So, you know, I'm always excited to see it come to the event, and not any of the remakes or the Michael Bay's versions of those movies. So yeah, so I am excited to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre come back. And then, of course, the next one is one that us here in Orlando saw last year for their little preview stuff during Halloween, which is The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. It should be no secret, I loved The Bride of Frankenstein Lives last year. It was my favorite of the three houses that they did open. I've said it many times in the past, I love the Universal Classic Monsters, and I love when Universal uses them for Halloween Horror Nights. I don't think they utilize them enough these days, so it's really awesome that technically we got 3 years with the Universal Classic Monsters in a row, if you count last year's preview stuff, and The Bride of Frankenstein Lives coming back again this year. Who knows, maybe they'll add some little things here and there to make it a little bit different, but you know, for all intents and purposes, it's going to be the same house. You know, I would be amiss if I didn't talk about the announcement videos. They did 2 announcement videos. They did one for Texas Chainsaw, and they also did one for The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. The Bride of Frankenstein Lives video is phenomenal. It is one of the best videos I think they've ever done. I heard about this video last year, and unfortunately we didn't get a chance to see it. But you know, or at least I heard rumblings of the video last year and what it was and what it looked like. So whether or not they shot it last year or whatever, that's kind of what I had heard. So it's nice to see the video. Fantastic video. I love the way it's shot. I love the way it's edited. It kind of gives you everything you need to know about the house. You know, it's the Frankenstein monster is dead, and she's trying to revive the monster, but gets interrupted by the bride. The brides, or one of the brides of Dracula. So I love it. You know, probably one of my favorite things that they've put out in the last couple of years. I love it. I love the video so much. It's such a great video. But yeah, so Bride of Frankenstein Lives and Texas Chainsaw Massacre officially announced for Halloween Horror Nights 30 and Hollywood. I didn't see anything about any preview merch yet. From what I am told, we will still have, or we may still have, preview merch for either one of these announcements or both of these announcements. Who knows? So I guess keep an eye out for that. But yeah, so I may mention in the last video that it might be a little bit too early to start doing a hype list, but I didn't have time to put together the graphic for this year, so I'll just briefly go over so far. We have, 5 things that have been announced, one that's been announced but not officially announced. So I'll go over where I think all of them kind of rank right now for me. Number 1 is Bride of Frankenstein Lives. I love that house so much last year, and I'm interested to see if they do anything different for it this year. If not, I'm still looking forward to walking through that house again. That was, like I said, hands down my favorite house. I think number 2 is going to be Puppet Theater Captive Audience, even though that hasn't been officially announced. It was announced last year during that that video that was on Peacock. So Bride of Frankenstein Lives, Puppet Theater Captive Audience. Number 3, I think, is going to be Beetlejuice. I wasn't, I mean, I liked Beetlejuice last year, but I wasn't like super gaga for it like other people were last year. It was fine. There were some things that you could tell that they probably weren't able to do or didn't get a chance to do last year. So it'll be interesting to see if they do more with that for this year. It is what it is. Number 4 will be Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like I said, I love the original version of this back in 2016. Like I said, we've had Texas Chainsaw Massacre before, but it was the first time that we had seen the original come to the event. So this will be the second time we see the original come to the event in some new shape, way, or form. So really interested to see that. And number 5 right now is going to be The Haunting of Hill House. I'm not a super fan of that show. I like the show. It is what it is, but I just, right now, the only thing that I'm really looking forward to seeing in the house is what it looks like. The aesthetic, of course, of the house looks fantastic, so I'm really interested to see what that looks like. But as far as the house goes, like, I'm excited to see it, but I'm not, like, overly excited to see it at this point. Especially, having gone through Bly Manor and stuff like that, I wasn't as much of a fan of Bly Manor as I was on Haunting of Hill House, so that kind of waned my interest a little bit in a house coming to Halloween Horror Nights, but it is what it is. So there you go. So right now, that's my list, and my 5, right now. Of course, as more things get announced, things will change and move around and stuff like that. But that's kind of where the list is right now. Believe me, there are other things coming down the pipeline that'll overtake things. It is what it is, but there are things that are coming that I think are going to make people very happy. So before the garbage truck comes outside, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Sorry for the boots setup again, but I have to work. I was going to do this tomorrow in the park, but I did have a little bit of time, so it is what it is. But anyway, so yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Bride of Frankenstein Lives, Halloween Horror Nights 30. That's going to be it for me, and I'll talk to you guys later.